we also made additions in free agency that we can grade here.
Big additions.
So yeah, like I'm looking at right now, it says that Chris Paul, getting him back as a B+. I agree with that. Almost an A- due to the fact that he opted out of that $40 million contract. And then I remember Salt had more details on the contract, but his contract is, what was it? It was 4 years, 120, but it's structured in a way to where he's not getting all of that like immediately. Like we thought it was going to be even 30 mil a year, but it's not. Like this upcoming year is only like 20 something. So yeah, I would give it even an A- due to the way they structured the contract.
Salt, your grade.
A+. You had to bring him back.
A+?
Yeah. You had to bring him back, and with the way the contract is structured, it's essentially a 2-year, $75 million deal. Mm-hmm. It freed up enough money to sign players that we're going to talk about coming up here. It's almost perfect for this run that they're making. And if you want to get out of it, even in the second year, it'd be a 2-year 75 instead of just 1 year 40, whatever it was, 45 or something like that, 44. Yep. So essentially, you're getting a 2-year 75 instead of a 1 year 40. You're getting to run it back. You freed up salary to sign other players like McGee and bring back Campaign. It's a win, dude. If you did not bring him, imagine him going somewhere else like the Knicks and then you struggling and not making waves in the playoffs. It would have been a nightmare. So I think it's A+, man.
I go with you, son. I give it A-.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess the only thing that drops it down from a plus or a regular A, it's just it's a lot of money and he's really old and he did get injured in a different way each damn series. And listen, they told us, everybody, what did they say to us? Yeah, Chris Paul's great, but he always gets hurt in the playoffs. He's cursed. He's like the Babe Ruth curse on the Yankees. He's just a cursed player. And I'll tell you, the shoulder, the COVID, the wrist feels pretty cursed. So that's the only reason I can't give it an A+.
I can retort on that. I know we don't have much time here, but I'll just say one thing. He did something that Steve Nash couldn't do and nobody could do except for Charles Barkley, and that was to get him to the finals since 93. So he's worth it.
And once again, worth it the way they restructured his contract. And speaking of contracts, the Campaign A, no, bro, we're gonna give that an A+ because the amount that they brought him back, 3 years, $19 million. That is a bargain for one campaign. So yeah, that's an A+ for me. Like that was probably the best signing. Yes, even
that the Suns have ever done as far as value.
Yes,
Salt.
Yeah, A+. They got him. I thought he was going to leave because there's rumors that he's going to get $10+ million a year, $12 million, and he's going to solidify our backup spot, and he might be the point guard of the future.
JaVale McGee, B+. I go A. I go flat A.
I go with B, just a B. Only because this was like, you could go A just because this felt like a cherry on top of what they had already done at the time. And so, yeah, you could go A. But for me, just as a talent prospect, they got us a backup big for Aiden because we needed it. B, that's about it. I was satisfied with it, but it didn't like blow me out of the water, but I was very satisfied. So B.
Salt.
I would give it a B. Plus B+.
B+.
Right.
So you like, okay.
He's the dude that we needed. Unfortunately, last finals, toughness, rebounding, big body. Went to the Olympics, won a gold medal. This dude's been to the championship. He's won multiple times. Golden State with LA. He's the dude we've been missing. You know, when DeAndre Ayton comes out, you're not going to have this giant gap in the middle. I think it's the guy you wanted, and it's the guy you got, and his contract is really good.
I mean, it sounds like you're saying an A+, and I'm only going A. I'm only going A.
Let's give it an
A.
Let's go A.
And here's why I say A. We had one weakness last year. One. We filled that weakness with someone bigger than DeAndre, with 3 titles on his fingers, with 3 title rings on his fingers, And what happened when we were looking shaky? What happened when we looked like, our USA team just doesn't have enough size? Well, they sent Kevin Love's ass packing, and they brought in the fixer. They said, look, JaVale, you may not be some superstar, but you're just what the doctor ordered. Length, blocks, rebounds, goon work. And that's who we get? A guy with 3 titles and a fresh Olympic gold medal?
And a lot of shacked and a fool.
That's why I won't give it an A+. Okay? That's
a lot of shacked and a fool. And that's what's got me at a B. Elfrid Payton at a B.
Elfrid Payton B. Now, Salty and I talked about this, and let me just throw this out there before you lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that last year he played 63 games, I believe, give or take a game or two, 63 games, and started them all for a Tom Thibodeau-led New York Knicks team that did very good. And Thibodeau is a hard coach who demands defense. He started 63 out of 72 games, and the other games he just didn't play. He started every game he played.
Playoffs.
Over Derrick Rose, and he's averaged 10 points a season every season. Every season since his first season. So that's our backup now. Somebody who started every game for the Knicks.
Backup to the backup.
Backup to the backup. Now, how do you feel?
I mean, for me, it's a whatever. It was a whatever signing when I saw it. I mean, I just remember every time I hear Elfrid Payton, I think goofy hair. He's gotten rid of the goofy hair, so there's always that. But no, those are solid stats that you told me. He played for a playoff team because the Knicks made the playoffs. 10 points a game. That's solid. If we need somebody, a vet presence that's, let's say Campaign rolls his ankle again one more time, something like that. We have somebody, or Campaign just goes cold. We have somebody that I feel like you can trust with the rock and who can get some buckets and who won't make bonehead mistakes. So solid signing to me. So I'll stick with the grade that they have, B minus around there.
What do you think, Salt?
B. It's a good grade. Like I said, if you look at these grades, even though we're giving different ones in this clutch points, it shows what James Jones is doing, his thought process, his ideology. With CP3 being injury prone, like you said, or Campaign in his ankle, if you sign a third option, break glass in case of emergency, you break that glass, you get Elfrid coming in there, you don't really miss too much. I mean, if it's CP3, you will, but I mean, this guy's the third option. This is like the third stringers. He'll be there with Frank Kaminsky and Nader, who we're going to talk about later, but this is just kind of that third rotation. So I think it was solid.
I think I agree with both of you guys. B. The reason I don't get no B plus or no A minus is because we know what we're getting, and he just doesn't have a consistent 3-point shot. He's not going to. I don't see him all of a sudden like, wow, now he's a true scorer like that. That's not happening. He's just
Campaign. I mean, but also Campaign. We didn't think that about Campaign, and Campaign ended up being really solid. And he was also another reclamation project. So Payton could be the same.
But that's what I'm saying is I don't think Elfrid Payton is the reclamation that Payne was.
You think he's just solid?
Is somewhat solid already.
Yeah, fair enough.
Otherwise, the Knicks wouldn't be starting him on a playoff roster.
I can't argue.
And we didn't know that until recently. All right, next up, your boy and my boy, Salt. Frank Kaminsky and Abdel Nader both get C pluses. I feel like we are going to differ on these. Sundo, you go first. You've been going last. Go first.
These once again another whatever signing. You know how I feel about Nader. I do like me some Frank the Tank. So to see his name coming back, that's only because it was a fan favorite situation for me. Not hey, we need this guy to play. Although in Game 6 he did have a little bit of a spark, and me and you did enjoy that a lot. But Nader, no. So C
for both. Or you want to give them
if we're putting them together, individual Frank Kaminsky C plus Abdel Nader D, because I just don't like Abdel. I just don't like Nader. Sorry.
Okay. Salty.
F- for both. Get them out of here.
For real?
Bro, I just don't like either of those players, man. And it's just kind of the scrubs. I don't see these dudes playing. If they do, if they get like substantial minutes, the Suns are screwed. Let's just put it that way. So I think that you could sign just about anybody. And what did Nader do to deserve another contract? I could see Frank or whatever. I really don't like him, but I mean, it is what it is. You're just filling your roster out. So F-.
Really?
Minus.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure you weren't being
no.
All right. I go C- for Frank. Because like you said, you could have signed anybody for that role. Frank is so cold and then lukewarm, and then cold and then lukewarm. He's never really hot, and he's not a good defender. And C- for Frank. Abdel Nader, I'm going to try to be objective. Obviously, no one hates on this dude more than myself. I'll give him a D+. You give him an F-, I'll give him a D+. To me, it's a waste of a roster spot. However, he is 6'7", and he is a good defender. So I guess in a break glass in case of emergency situation, you could do worse than Abdel Nader on the defensive end. So I'll give him a D+.
D+, fair enough.
You know? I think that's it. That's it for that.
Is the Landry Shamit trade on there? And we never really did talk about that.
It's
How
not.
did you rate that?
Okay, Landry Shamit, and we gave up Javon and a second-round pick.
No, the 29th overall pick.
29th. Sorry, 29th. It felt like second. I don't know. Salty, what do you think?
It's not really free agency, so you know what I'm saying? Like,
we might as well talk about it. We haven't talked about it yet. It's off season.
We'll just get it out of the way. We'll add it in.
I've been on that train for a while. I thought it was a great trade, but the Nets, who they drafted with that 29th pick, apparently he's going Michael Jordan in the summer league, averaging like 30 points or something like that. I don't know who it is, but I think he's killing it, and potentially we could have drafted that player. But I like Shamit. He's a good 3-point shooter, career like close to 40%. He's going to be more consistent in the second unit for 3-point shooting. He fills a role that they needed, and I don't know. You didn't really give up much to get him, Javon Carter. You know.
Somebody you weren't using.
They selected Day'Ron Sharp. That's who they picked with the 29th overall.
And he's doing work?
Day'Ron Sharp is who they selected 29th overall. He's doing work. I'm with Salt here. I liked the trade. And once again, we talked about this. He is a Monty guy. Monty's going to really put him in a place where he needs to be. Solid 3-point shooter. So I liked it as well. Also, it's a big time helps to save money. You still got 1 or 2 years left in the contract, and it's fairly cheap. So it was a good money move as well. So yes, I liked it.
Did you give it
I gave it about for the trade at least. I give it about a B.
Salty, did you give it a letter grade?
I'll give it like a B+.
I'll give it a C+. C+. You know, you guys convinced me up a little bit. I mean, I don't want to be too hard on it. It's just I'm not in love with Shamit yet. He's going to have to win me over, which, of course, he could do. But
he will. He'll make one good 3-point, or he'll dunk on somebody one time.
Does he dunk?
I'm just saying, something will happen. He'll do something spectacular one night, and you'll be like, I love Shamit. That's how you always roll. So the Shamit love will come sooner or later.
You're probably not wrong.